And I think Zippy, now I think it's time for the most famous words at iRacing.
Oh, time music.
There you go. Alrighty, 27 cars make up the field. Guys outside the top 10, or even outside the top 15, like Joe Houston, Matthew Leggett, big surprise. A lot of ground to make up. Daniel Nance, 24th. Pete Tart will lead them to green. 225 laps, Zippy.
Here we go.
Cage Rattler, 225, baby. Hard hangs on to this lead. Douglas Henry second. Battle for third. Aiden Gould going underneath Chris Warren. Chris trying to battle back on the top side after the green flag. Michael Brooks got into the wall, but he hangs on to 10th. Aiden jumps down to the apron. What happened to him? Oh, and Eric Gonzalez turns Chris Warren. Chris Warren around. Oh my gosh. Chris Warren maybe came down off of that wall across the nose of Eric Gonzalez. And we're still green as Pete Tart leads another. Douglas Henry Rhino's back bumper, and that created a large gap to the cars behind Eric Gonzalez, Jacob Alicia, Greg Jodian. Something might have happened to Aiden Gould. He's fallen all the way back to 21st.
Looking up to jump another spot.
And we got a caution, Spencer Burton. Spencer Burton around in turns 3 and 4, Zippy, and that's a new paint scheme
looking
for
good.
him. Madewell Vintage coming onto the car, picking him up as one of your drivers, but Spencer Burton brings out the first caution, which does bail out Chris Warren. He was about to go a lap down after that contact. We got 2 replays to look at. Let's look at Spencer Burton first.
He's got some damage on the back too, Noah.
Spencer Burton inside of Joe Houston. Daniel Nance just behind him. Where does this go wrong? Oh, just gets at the brakes a little bit too hard. That was net code for rear damage, but that brings out your first caution.
Man, you hate to see it. Spencer wasn't able to make these early practices, so he had to start there in the back.
We got the Chris Warren. So we know he was battling Eric Gonzalez. So Warren's on that top line, Eric on the bottom. So Aiden jumps out of the way. Ooh, Warren could be higher on an exit, but Eric still goes up there and gets him.
Good jump, though.
I don't see any checkups. Look at Doug looking to the outside. Eric Gonzalez to the inside. Nothing's popping up in the incident report yet, so it seems like everybody's made it through clean. Can we complete a lap here? 3 wide just behind. That was Brooks get taken 3 wide. Hey, I saw Gary Smoke. Oh, no, Jameek Smith. Into the, it's a pileup. Michael Brooks, Aaron Warren, Dylan Simmons, Lane Myers. And I think that all started with Jameek Smith getting into the rear bumper of Michael Brooks. Michael Brooks was on the way backwards, and Jameek did not give him any slack. Here we go, Michael Brooks, watching him just kind of fishtails off the corner. Let's look again.
That'd have been net code, maybe. It didn't look like there was contact there before the spin.
Let's go back. We're going to manually take a little gander here so you can see he's stuck in the middle. Jimmy, yeah, that's really cutting it close. Definitely the air got to him there. I wouldn't put much blame on Jameek, but Michael Brooks going backwards. You see here's just the rest of the pileup. I mean, Luke Chadwick, Lane Myers.
Aiden Gould able to get through there clean, though.
Samuel Lang and Josh Powerzanis. Eric had a good jump, actually had to get on the brakes. Pete's going to go up the track, block that line. And now Eric Gonzalez moves into that second position. Douglas Henry right to his back bumper. As they come off the corner, they look clean. Eric inside of Doug. Well, Doug let him go by. Look at that beautiful new shiny paint scheme out of Douglas Henry battling back on the top line. Meanwhile, Jacob Alicia, Daniel Honeycutter also dicing it up. A lot of side-by-side action. You got to give each other enough room here, Zippy. things can get hairy quick, but it looks like Doug will re-clear Eric, and meanwhile Daniel might lose 2 positions here. Or sorry, Alicia lose 2 positions. Daniel goes by. Here comes Matthew Leggett.
All the top 5 here going single file as we see Matthew Leggett jump out to a middle lane, trying to do something different here. Not going to win a race by following behind. And he goes to the outside of Daniel Honeycutt here.
Chris Warren around exit of turn 2, Zippy. The second time we've seen him in some trouble. Spencer Burton also spun. He had damage, so he's actually 2 laps down on pit road. Chris Warren making his return to PALracing. Not the way we wanted to see it. Let's take a look at the replay. Chris Warren inside of Jim Meek-Smith, and he's just going to lose that rear end. You see the wheel hop, a little bit loose, keeps it down out of the way.
And that's what he's doing right now. He's driving hard early as we get around back here to the checkered flag, or green flag.
Not quite the checkered flag yet. Eric Gonzalez, Douglas Henry side by side. Eric will go through. I don't know if there was door contact, but he gets by Doug. Look at Daniel Honeycutt on that top line. He's going to diamond that corner, drives off the right rear off the top line, trying to get around Matthew Leggett. He will clear, and he's continuing to charge that outside. Daniel Honeycutt, one of the best at saving tire at a short track, but I don't know about Bristol. He looks like he's pushing pretty hard. Looks to the inside of Doug. Doug might have gotten bumper contact with Eric. Daniel now to the outside, man, he could just put that car anywhere. When you show up to Bristol, maybe you're just a top line guy and the bottom line's too loose for you. Maybe you're just a bottom feeder and the top line a little bit too aggressive on the tires for you. But Honeycutt's one of those rare drivers who could put that car anywhere.
Yeah, this front pack is definitely keeping it interesting as there's a big gap there as Leggett goes to the top lane.
Oh, this is getting tight here.
Big fight here in the back. So we round out our top 10 here with a battle.
Oh, Matthew got Gonzalez. Big checkup. Here comes the rest of the field. Oh, no.
There might have been 3 cars keep it clean through that.
I think Matthew Leggett got into the back of Eric Gonzalez, checked up so he wouldn't finish off his teammate, and the rest of the field was not ready. Oh, my. Can anybody survive?
We get an incident report for that.
Oh, yes, we do. So this is on the exit of the corner where I believe this starts. You got Eric on the bottom line, a little loose up in front of the 81. No, he comes across. Matt checks up, has nowhere to go. Here comes Aiden. Raymond barely sneaks through, and here we go. Just slow-mo. Gary Smoke, Daniel Honeycutt, Greg Jodiot, Daniel Nance, Michael Alfaro, Alicia, Chris Warren, Gordon Larson Jr. Raymond, this is no Zippy up in the booth. You got a copy. Raymond?
Yeah.
Are your pants brown? Do you need a new set? Because that was tight.
So I don't know what in the world just happened. All I know is I puckered up and Salahola took it. And we're on the other side of it.
And you moved
now we're
to
third.
Raymond, you have speed here. You're a short track driver. Maybe some people are even doubting you going into these short tracks here in Season 4. But look at you, P3. What's the goal here? Do you feel like you have speed to contend with, Pete Tart, Douglas Henry?
Yeah, we definitely got some speed, but, we're on 60-lap old tires, so restart's going to be crucial. Can't spin. It's going to be kind of loose here for the first couple of laps till we get some heat built back in them. But, yeah, right now it's just conserve, save as much as possible, be there at the end.
All righty, thank you, Raymond.
Bristol, baby.
I don't even
this is
know.
what I expected, to be honest. I knew that this track was going to be a little bit of a challenge for a lot of these guys. We get into the restart. Pete Tart able to get out to a nice little lead here and maybe push Henry behind him, and he does off of turn 2 there.
Here comes Doug into Pete Tart. Contact. Doug up the inside, and a race that's full of chaos. That's where Douglas Henry prospers. Doug has a lot of wins off of other guys making mistakes. We got to think to the Season 3 the Season 3 Cage Rattler 225 at Bristol. We saw a handful of accidents and spins. Doug was able to capitalize, and here he is again.
The biggest one for me would be Daniel Honeycutt trying to find his way back around.
We got a yellow. I think it was Samuel Lang. Wrecked in the middle of the entry into, I believe that is turns 3 and 4, perhaps 1 and 2. We got a replay. Let's take a look at it. does it have? Oh.
Oh, Aiden Gould into the wall, down, clips the nose of Lang and takes him out.
Does
Raymond staying out.
Raymond stays out, which is going to keep everybody that's 1 lap down stuck 1 lap down. They won't get the wave around. Why Raymond Rimmer decided to stay out here? Maybe he wants to trap all those guys 1 lap down. I don't know why he wouldn't pit here, but he stays out, and he's still not pitting. He's not going to pit late after, so potentially Raymond Wimmer, either he's trying to go off cycle, but he needs the fuel. This is a head scratcher for me out of Raymond. Potentially missed pit road entry. Has to come all the way back through, or is pit road still open? We'll check for the lights. No, they're red. He pits now. It's an EOL. He's still out front. I don't know what the strategy is. He needs fuel, Zippy. He has not pit at all this race. Gets the launch, but you can see these guys with fresh tires just hound your leader. That's Gordon Spain. It's his opportunity here to go for the lead. Douglas Henry right behind. Doug, the quickest of these 3 here. Couple of guys 1 lap down mixed in with these leaders, just how they exit pit road and how EOLs are working. But here comes Doug around the outside of Raymond, and Raymond immediately going to drop back here. You're going to watch him drop like a rock, as now Douglas Henry, feeling the best he's ever been so far tonight, has to battle Gordon Spain for this lead. Pete Tart, wondering what happened to him. He fell back to 7th after that pit cycle. He must have messed up on pit road, perhaps slid through the box, maybe had damage to fix, but here comes Douglas Henry. Inside of Gordon Spain, he will make the pass, and Doug, hammer down Henry, will go to the lead at Bristol, trying to defend his Cage Rattler 225 trophy. I think Dan's
Gordon Spain able to take advantage.
Daniel Nance knows that he has the speed, and this might be his best opportunity to get a win. The competition is so high, but when 90% of the competition ends up wrecked and it's just you and 2 other guys at the moment that you have to battle. Right now,
battling back and forth here.
Inside of Daniel Nance, battle for second. Like we said, track positions, everything here. 1 step closer to the lead. 3 wide here, Gordon Spain. Up through the inside into second. Daniel back into third. You talked about it, waiting to capitalize on Daniel Nan's mistakes. There it is. I don't know when we're going to see him pit. I got to imagine it's soon. Here we go, our lap 169, and then there goes Pete Tart, 2 laps down. That's how fast laps clock here at Bristol while you're on pit road. So that doesn't mean he's out of it. He just has to wait for the cycle.
I do have a little bit of insight here on Henry. They say he's about 3 to 4 laps short of making it to the end. So he's trying to conserve a little bit here, looking to go no stops to the end. We've got about 40 laps, right at 40 laps to go, 41 to go.
What a nice Hail Mary strat out of Doug. Even though it looks like this isn't going to work out and come back his way, even if he makes it on fuel, just not being able to hold off Pete here as Pete closed the distance to 2 seconds. It's a nice attempt. You applaud it. Would you have preferred to see him pit when he was 2 laps, almost 2 laps above everybody else? Yes.
Probably.
Oh, Daniel Honeycutt had some contact. He gets it back down. He goes in the entry of pit road. I think he might have had an incident, but right now here's Doug, and there's Pete. But how about Pete Tart, the pace he's showing, and the ability to just drive around Doug, going to drive around Doug twice, and then for a 3rd time to take the lead. And I'm like, yeah, he has fresh tires. Of course he is, and he's not saving. No, it's him weaving through traffic, keeping it clean, not making mistakes. That is something that we have been waiting to see out of the 16-year-old. But here we go. Here comes Pop-Tart Pete. Pass for the lead, and what would be a pass for the win. I just don't think Doug can even contend for that position. I think as soon as this pass is made, Doug will hit pit road and top off fuel, or just go to that tank is on E. But what a nice effort for Doug.
I think that just goes to show that anybody can put down some practice and focus up and get a win and be a fast guy. I think Aiden Gould is probably number 1 on a lot of people's list in the power rankings, and to have a young guy like Pete Tart to be able to pass on some of that knowledge, like you said, is exactly what they wanted to do.
Pete
Pete
Tart into 3
came
and
out.
4, 1 lap to go here. Cage Rattler 225, 2 career wins for the 16-year-old from California.
Let's
Good
go.
one,
Let's
Pete.
fucking go. Thank you,
Good
Aiden. Let's go.
There, crack
Oh
that
my
early.
god. Drove my ass off for that one. Oh my god. Thanks for the only 4x of the race.
Congratulatory bump from Aiden Gould on the teammates. Pop, Tart, Pete. 2 career wins for the kid. Anybody doubted him going into the season? You should not have doubted him at all. Nobody's going to doubt him now. Oh my gosh, this is awesome to see. Pop-Tart Pete burning it down. The Cage Rattler 225 winner here at Bristol adds a second trophy to the trophy case. Pop-Tart Pete, you got it done, bud. 2-time winner in PALracing.
Let's go. That feels great. Was not expecting it at Bristol, I'm not gonna lie.
Well, Pete, you were able to get the pole to start with, and you told me going into this race that you were not confident at short tracks, and then you got the pole, and here you are with the win. What made it happen? What made it work?
Well, we had a bit of a setback when we was told to enter in turn 2 under yellow, but I got an EOL, so we got a big setback. So instead of just running to the end, which that's crazy, Douglas saved 5 laps of fuel there because I was 5 laps short, so I thought just try to undercut him since it was a short run, and it worked out in our favor. So I'm happy it worked out.
Congratulations,
Fantastic.
Pete. 2 career wins. That's 3 wins for LGR. 4 wins for LGR, 3 wins for Flipper Win. You get it done at Bristol, and as your team owner celebrates with you on the front stretch, I'm excited to have you on Pass or Protest tomorrow. What do you think? Let's talk about this win.
Oh yeah, that sounds good.
Alrighty, thank you, Pete Tart.
I think Noah.
We'll send Pete Tart down, and we'll talk to the guy that managed to save 5 laps of fuel here at Bristol, but came up just about, looked like about 11 laps, 12 laps short of having that lead. Douglas, hammer down Henry, no instant in the booth. You got a copy?
I got a copy.
Well, Doug, you found yourself in second. This is a race that you won last season. You were searching for the trophy again, but you came up just short. But how about that strategy? Bringing it home on fumes. Pete Tart said you saved about 5 laps of fuel. Were you confident in that strategy? Were you maybe banking on a caution, having an extra set of tires? You know, what was the thought process going into it? And how much did Alicia help you with that decision?
Yeah, it was Jacob's and Joe's idea, but I was really sure there was going to be a caution that would just put me out like a lap ahead of everybody else, and just didn't turn out my way. So,
looking back when you were leading by almost 2 laps during the pit cycle, that last one, did you think to yourself, maybe I should pit here, maybe grab a splash of fuel or right side just to make sure I'm maintaining that gap? Or was it as soon as you went with that decision to go on that strategy, you weren't going to change your mind?
from the lap Pete pit for the next 20 laps, I thought I should have pit. So, shoulda, coulda, woulda, I guess.
Well, Doug, you're able to secure a P2. This is a good points day for you. Noah, can we talk a little bit about the points and where this puts Douglas?
Doug, you were fighting Greg. You were tied with Greg Jodiet. Now you were below the pay line in 6th because of Greg's bonus points. This definitely leapfrogs you. This could even put you somewhere towards possibly 3rd on the list. I know your goal is always to win a championship, but getting back into the top 3 again, are there any races later this season on our schedule where you're like, that's where I'm going to get the win, and that's where I'm going to elevate myself and try to get and knock down Pop-Tart Pete, who has extended his lead?
I'm winning Talladega. I'll do whatever it takes.
Oh, I'm going to do
I'll
whatever
wreck
it
the whole
takes.
field, man.
I've heard that before. I don't know about that one, but congratulations, Doug. Thank you so much. Can't wait to see you this weekend. Have a good night, bud.
Thanks. Have a good one.
And then we'll go ahead and grab. I think this is our first interview we've done with Gordon Spain for finishing in the top 3. 3rd place finisher, kept it clean. G Spain, you got a copy, brother?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Oh my gosh,
Hey,
Gordon,
Gordon.
what a run, bud.
It was a decent run. It was a good run. I kept it clean for the most part.
Gordon, I'll be straight up with you. We did our
Yeah.
we did our pre-race interview,
And you were like,
and
yeah, okay, if you say so.
I asked you, where are you going to finish? Are you confident with the top 10? You said, I'm confident with the top 10 as long as I can keep it clean, but I'm really aiming for a top 5.
Yeah.
Here we are on the podium for the first time this season. Is this something that we can expect out of you for the rest of the race or the rest of the season? Or is this a one-time thing?
Oh, no,
he
I
ain't
hope it's
gonna
not
admit that. He's gonna. This is momentum you're gonna build,
Nah, this
Gordon.
isn't a one-time thing.
No.
You just have to see how it goes.
Gordon, dude, this is awesome. And I remember most of people don't know, but you're from the Next Era side of things. I was broadcasting you in Next Era a year ago, brought you into PAL. Your first season was season 3. We had a little bit of a rough start, and then you kind of got it figured out, and now you're building up, you know, yourself here and your notoriety, and everybody's getting comfortable racing you, and you're starting to become a more active guy in the community. You got put on the Team LGR. We haven't gotten to talk to you. I don't think I've gotten to talk to you about this, Gordon. You know, tell us about you moving to Legat Gould Racing, them picking you up. You know, what was your initial thoughts on that, and how's the team aspect going for you here on the Suncoast side of the garage?
Oh, them guys are great. It's been great working with them. I mean, we feed off each other and help each other, and I mean, it definitely helps me.
Alrighty, Gordon,
Fantastic.
congratulations, bud, on the top 3. Look forward to seeing you next week. Have a good night.
You too. Thank you.
Good night.
We'll go ahead and send Gordon Spain back down, and ladies and gentlemen, that will conclude tonight's Cage Rattler 225.